Hello students, today's topic is cube root of perfect cubes. In this lesson, we will learn about what is a cube root. Then we will discuss what a perfect cube number is. And finally, we will discuss how to find cube root of a perfect cube number. So, let's get started. Let us divide the discussion of this topic in three parts. In the first part, we will discuss what a cube root is. In the second part of this video, we will discuss the meaning of perfect cube. And in the third part of this lesson, we are going to learn a new technique to solve cube roots of perfect cubes. I hope you all are ready to learn. You all must pay attention to all the things we are going to discuss today. Let us start with this symbol. Do you know for what purpose this symbol is used? This symbol is used to find the root of different powers. For example, square root, cube root, root of fourth power, and many more. You all know how to find square root as we have already discussed this in previous lesson. Okay, let us give it a revision by taking a simple example. Suppose a number 16 is given to you to calculate its square root. Here, you need to find a number which when multiplied by itself gives 16. So, let's begin with 1. When 1 is multiplied by itself, it just gives 1. But when 2 multiplied by itself, what does it give? It gives 4. 3 multiplied by itself gives 9. 4 multiplied by 4 gives 16. Here we got our answer. Because when 4 is multiplied by itself, it gives 16. 4 is the square root of 16. And we have already discussed a method to find out the square root of bigger numbers. So let us not discuss it again and move forward to today's topic. Today's topic is cube roots of perfect cubes. As I have already told you that in first part of this video, we will discuss what a cube root is. Let us assume a number 64 to find out its cube root. Now, to find out the cube root of 64, we need a number which when multiplied by itself 3 times gives 64. Let us begin with 1. 1 multiplied by 1 3 times gives 1. 2 multiplied by itself 3 times gives 8. 3 when multiplied by itself 3 times, it gives 27. And what about 4? What does we get when we multiply 4 by itself 3 times? When we multiply 4 by itself 3 times, it gives 64. Do you think we have got our answer? Yes. Cube root of 64 is 4 because when 4 is multiplied by itself 3 times, it gives 64. But this was a very small number. Can we find out the cube root of much bigger numbers in the same way as I just discussed? Let us assume a bigger number. Say 262,144. Can you find a number which when multiplied by itself 3 times gives 262,144. I give you few seconds to solve cube root of this number. Have you done it? Do you get your answer? I know few of you might get the answer, but many of you are still struggling to find out the cube root of this number. We can find out the cube root of bigger number in this way, but it is difficult and time consuming too. So today we will discuss a method to find out cube root of perfect cubes in few seconds. So are you ready to learn this new method? But first of all, we must know what is the meaning of cube root. Let us define perfect cube number as the result of multiplying a number 3 times by itself. We can say that perfect cubes are the numbers which have exact factors. Now, what are the factors? Factors are the numbers we can multiply to get another number. For example, 2 and 3 are the factors of 6. 4 and 3 are the factors of 12. 2, 2 and 3 are also the factors of 12. Now, for example, we have to find out whether 216 is a perfect cube or not. For this, we have to search for a number which can be multiplied by itself 3 times to give 216. 6 multiplied by itself 3 times gives 216. Therefore, 216 is a perfect cube number because 6 is the exact number of factors. But is 217 a perfect cube? No, because it does not have exact factors which can be multiplied by itself 3 times to give 270. There are few more examples of perfect cube numbers and non-perfect cube numbers. I am going to provide you a table with perfect cube numbers and non-perfect cube numbers. You can see that the numbers on the right hand side of this table does not have exactly same number of factors to give the number. But on the left hand side of this table, all the numbers are perfect cube numbers. Now you have learnt about cube root and a perfect cube number. Now let's move forward to find out the technique of finding cube roots of perfect cubes. But first of all, you all must know the symbol of cube root. This is the symbol of square root and this is the symbol of cube root. Just putting a 3 on the symbol of square root. Now you know two things. 1. Meaning of cube root. 2. Meaning of perfect cube number. Let us move further to discuss method for solving cube roots of perfect cubes. And by the end of this lesson, you will be able to calculate the cube roots of bigger numbers in 2 to 3 seconds. Let us find out what the method is. You are given with a list containing numbers 1 to 10 and their cubes. This list will be used to calculate cube roots of bigger numbers. And with the knowledge of these numbers, you will be able to solve cube roots of perfect cube numbers instantly. But the first and foremost thing is that you need to memorize the list. On the left hand side of the list, there are numbers. On the right hand side of the list, there are the cubes of respective numbers. The cube of 1 is 1. The cube of 2 is 8. The cube of 3 is 27. Cube of 4 is 64. Cube of 5 is 125. Cube of 6 is 216. Cube of 7 is 343. Cube of 8 is 512. Cube of 9 is 729. And cube of 10 is 1000. Once you have memorized the list, I would like to draw your attention to the underlined numbers in the list. You will notice that I have underlined certain numbers in the list. These underlined numbers form a unique relationship among them. In the first row, the underlined numbers are 1 and 1. What does it mean? It establishes a relationship that if the last digit of the cube is 1, the last digit of the cube root is also 1. Now, draw your attention to the second row. In the second row, the underlined numbers are 2 and 8. What does this mean? This means that if the last digit of the cube is 8, the last digit of the cube root is 2. Similarly, in the third row, the underlined numbers are 3 and 7. As you can see, out of 27, I have underlined 7 only, which is the last digit of 27. Thus, it can be concluded that if the last digit of the cube is 7, the last digit of the cube root will be 3. And continuing in this manner, you will observe that in the last row, the last digit of 10 is 0 and the last digit of its cube is also 0. Therefore, when a cube ends in 0, its cube root will also end in 0. So, on the basis of above observations, let us form a table. In this table, you must have noticed that few numbers are written in different colors. What does this mean? If the last digit of the cube is 8, the last digit of the cube root will be 2. And if the last digit of the cube is 2, the last digit of the cube root is 8. You can easily notice this from the table. Similarly, same is the case with 3 and 7. Thus, all cube roots end with the same number as their corresponding cubes except the numbers 2 and 8, 3 and 7, which end with each other. There is one more thing to be kept in mind before solving cube roots using this technique, which I am going to discuss with you now. Whenever a cube is given to you, to find out its cube root, you must put a slash before last 3 digits. For example, if you are given with the number 103,823, you will put a slash before 823 and represent it as 103/823. If a number given to you is 39,304, you will represent it as 39/304. You will put a slash before last 3 digits. Let us begin with the number 250,047. We have to find out the cube root of this number. First of all, we shall represent the number 250,047 as 250/047. Next, we observe that the cube 250,047 ends with 7. And you know from the table that if a cube ends with 7, its cube root will end in 3. Therefore, At this stage, our answer is 3, which is the right hand side part of the answer. Therefore, up till this point, we have got the right hand part of our answer. To find out the left hand part of the answer, we take the number which lies to the left side of the slash. In this case, the number lying to the left side of the slash is 250. Now, we need to find two perfect cubes between which the number 250 lies on the number line. And from the table, we find that 250 lies between 216 and 343. 216 is the cube of 6. 343 is the cube of 7. Out of these two numbers, we will take the smaller number. Therefore, we will take 6 out of 6 and 7, which is the left hand part of our answer. Therefore, 6 is the left hand part of the answer. 3, which we have already got, is the right hand part of the answer. Therefore, our final answer is 63, which is the cube root of 250,047. Let us take up one more example. Let's find out the cube root of 205,379. Can you tell me which is the first step to solve the cube root of this number? Yes, we need to put a slash before last three numbers. Therefore, we represent 205,379 as 205/379. As you can see, the number itself ends in 9. Therefore, the cube also ends with a 9. At this stage, the answer is 9, which is the right hand part of the answer. For the left hand part of the answer, we have to consider the number which is lying on the left hand side of the slash. The part to the left of the slash is 205. It lies between perfect cubes of 125 and 216. 125 is the cube of 5. 216 is the cube of 6. So which is the smaller number out of these two numbers? Yes, 125 is the smaller number. Therefore, we will be going to take 5 out of 5 and 6. We have already got our answer for the right hand part, which is 9, and now we have got the left part of the answer, which is 5. Therefore, our final answer is 59. The cube root of 205,379 is 59. I hope you all have understood this new technique of finding cube roots of perfect cube. Isn't it easy and simple and less time consuming? Yes, it is. I hope you all have enjoyed and understood this new method of finding cube roots of perfect cube numbers, and now you will easily solve all the questions using this technique. Thank you. I'm going to give you few more questions to solve cube roots of perfect cube for practice. Your first question is, what is the cube root of 238,328? Remember, this number ends in 8. Therefore, its cube root ends in 2. You can refer from the table also. Second question for your practice is, what is the cube root of 658,503? Remember, This number ends in 3. So you have to correctly find the right hand part of the cube root. You are given with 4 options: 79, 83, 87, 97, and one out of these options is correct. Let's move further. I'm going to give you one more question that is a tricky one. Your next question is, boxes of candies are kept in a cubical carton. If the total number of boxes in the cubical carton are 32,768, find the number of rows in each layer. I am going to give you a hint for this question. You have to find out the cube root of 32,768 and the answer will be the number of rows in each layer. The answers to these questions will be given to you once you solve all the questions.